Hi there, JJ here. This is going to be some off-season gameplay from Big Thing. Normally off-season doesn't really matter that much, but this is Big Thing, and there's going to be new defenders, and there are some new nodes that I just want to talk about. So first of all, let me just explain what Big Thing is. It's 10 fights on the map, and they have like 5 million health, but you can increase your damage based on like doing specific things. So this is node number 6, Future Ant-Man. I'm taking it with Thanos. Basically, whenever the opponent purifies or cleanses a debuff, you gain a charge. So the MVPs for this node are Dust and Jean because they can purify stuff off the opponent. But there is a cleanse on the node that whenever anyone crosses a bar of power, they gain cleanse charges. And so over here, I was thinking that I can use the Armor Shatter to prevent Future Ant-Man's armor ups. And then I can use the Panic whenever I counterpunch to increase my roll force by having them be cleansed. So there I go for one, there I go for another one. My charges are increasing. And as you see, my damage is kind of really high. And one thing about this node is that some champions scale ridiculously in certain ways. So if you've been around, you've been seeing a lot of the Solvark gameplay. He's been doing fights in around 30 seconds, and I ranked him up for the next one. But one thing I'd like to point out is that Thanos has a regeneration off of his special one that regenerates 2% of damage taken by the opponent. And that's why I'm running suicides here, also because I'm too lazy to remove them. But basically, when I throw the special one, I'm going to regen so much damage that I take. So I'm going to take a bunch of damage later in the fight, and then I'm going to be able to regen it because 2% of the damage I deal is something like let's say I deal 100,000 damage in a hit. I'm going to be healing 2,000. So yeah. There, I got hit by the SB2, but the protection saved me. Just getting some heavies off. I'm just trying to get the what's called back, the Armor Shatter. There, I got a Disintegration on me, but it doesn't matter. I have 20 force charges. Another important thing to note about the Big Thing season is that Saga attackers, their roll force have 100% increased potency, and roll force is what increases your damage. So your damage will increase a lot if you're a Saga. So being Saga is very important. A lot of champions will time out on certain fights, and if they're Saga, they won't. So over here, you see I'm at 44%, and I'm going to toss this special one to gain a ton of healing. And yeah, so the first healing healed me for 5k. Obviously, I'm taking recoil damage, so it was offset, but as you see, my health bar is going up very quickly. And here I just go for the full send. I know I have more than enough damage. I go for the relic. He parries it. It's fine. He goes for the counter punch. Even if he threw the SP3, I wasn't dead. And I healed a lot from the regeneration passive, and it was fine. So that was node 6, Future Ant-Man with Thanos. Really not that bad. Next up, I have a fight that I die to, but I'm showing it anyways. This is on the alt account. It was in Fae for 1 or 2 wars, just for like testing purposes. This is going to be Dust on node number 7, I think. Yeah, node 7, Root. So you gain roll force whenever striking the opponent in Root, and there's a Root or Rooted node, so that allows you to just hit them while they're rooted, dash away when they're about to be rooted, and then you can gain roll force like that. So I died because I'm an idiot, but otherwise this fight is very easy. So here I'm dashing back, and she throws that, so I'm hitting her, and I'm gaining 5 roll force each time I hit her in the root. And I finished my combo, SB2. And now my hits are doing very decent damage, and over here I should just go in but I get intercepted. So here I just need to go heavy. It doesn't matter that I have the Sandstorm on me. So the disintegrations are doing 350k per hit, which is really nice. The damage scales is really fun. Like, you do get a lot of adrenaline from it. The Sandstorm finally wears off. I throw this SB1 right before the root comes back, so I'm able to back off for the root. However, I get parried, I think, or I go for a heavy. I don't know what I do. Maybe that's later. Oh yeah, she goes red. I throw this into her block. Not good, obviously. Then I'm going to be able to block in time, and I'm going to try to get back to my SB1, but she allows me to somehow, and then I get my heavy off, and I disable her special 3 by activating her Sandstorm, so that's pretty cool. I'm not going to die, but then I'm going to mess up and die, obviously, because, that's something I know how to do. And over here, I'm just waiting for the Sandstorm to end, and for her to get rooted, and then I go for a heavy, and she parries me, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she hits me with a heavy. She beats me to the heavy charge. And now I'm like, all right, I'm just going to dex the wall and hit her, and instead I just get hit. So yeah, whatever. It doesn't really matter. the point is that fight works. Bastion scales well with the nodes, and that's all that really matters. Next up, we have Vox against Modok on node number 5. This is the intercept lane, and over here I'm just like, I'm going to toss a special one, and then because of the Purify, whenever the protection comes back, my degens aren't going to be able to stick. So what I do instead is I'm just not going to throw specials and just try to get a bunch of intercepts and kill them with basics. And Vox's basics can hit hard, and I'm going to have a permanent auto block counter. And there, I get hit because I'm bad, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to take recoil damage. I'll be at 75%, but now it's over. I'm just going to go for intercepts here. And I don't think I'm going to try to recollect these degens. I don't know why I baited a heavy there. I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I'm recollecting these degens to try to get intensifies to make my furies and cruelties more potent, but it really doesn't matter. And here I'm just going to go for some intercepts. I wonder if the protection actually stops some of your damage, because the way that the force charges work, it increases the damage the opponent's going to take. So I'm wondering if, like Daunted, because the way Daunted works right now is that when you use Daunted against a character with protection, it increases its additive. So let's say you have a 70% Daunted, so they take 70% more damage during your specials, and they have 50% protection. You're doing 170% during your specials, so if you reduce that by 50% from the protection, you're doing 120% of what you're normally supposed to do. And that's how Onslaught is able to take Thanos well, and Jean is able to take Thanos and all that, because it bypasses a certain amount of the protection. But I don't know if that works the same way with the roll force charges or how the math works. But either way, this fight's not looking good. It looks like I'm going to time out, but I'm really just stacking up my intercepts, and I'm just doing a lot of damage. Trying to bait special ones, just playing it safe, and I'm doing 300k on the hits that crit. So, yeah, definitely a slow fight. A lot of these fights are slow. Anyways, I'm going to turn off suicides when I do my regular season fights, but over here I'm just going to keep them up because they allow for questing to be faster. Anyways, I want to talk about Big Thing in general. I'm really not a fan of it. I like regular war. I like the planning aspect that comes with it. I think it's a lot more fun when you're able to plan for your entire battle group, and it feels a lot more satisfying when your battle group works together to get a donut and get 0 deaths, as opposed to when each person does one fight and everyone solos it, and wow, there was no planning involved. It was just you chose, okay, you're fighting this guy, you're fighting this guy, you're fighting this guy, and everyone does that fight. There's no pre-fights or working together or coming up with unique counters, because every champion is going to have a good counter. I just think that's kind of stupid. Anyways, next up I have Bullseye on node 4. This is a combo node, so you want to use a champion that increases their combo. That's Okoye. Here I'm using a rank 2 unduped Okoye. I think the Shuri synergy allows you to gain the benefits from the dupe without actually being duped, but I think it's bugged because I wasn't getting the increased. Maybe I wasn't, I just wasn't noticing it. Anyways, here I'm just trying to increase my combo a lot to get my roll force. So every multiple of 10, I think I get 8 charges. Yes, that's right. And over here, I'm just going to try to not bait SP1s, but obviously he's going to throw a lot of them, like right there. I just finished a combo, he threw it right away. It's fine. I'm just going to dex a bunch, and I went for an intercept there. And I dash back so that I can do more of my combo without him throwing a special one. But it doesn't matter, I'm going to finish my combo here, or no, I don't. What I do is I throw my special one so that I'm able to do a stand-up intercept to bait his SP2 instead. So I'm obviously going to take some damage from the bleed, but it does have a 30% chance to be failed by the ensnare. And I know I only did 16%, and it's been a minute, but my roll force is just going to keep increasing whenever I put my combo above a multiple of 10, like right there. And there I just dash back, and here I'm going for a lot of lead attacks because I want to get If there's another special one to my block, kind of frustrating, but I'm doing a lot of lead attacks. I'm trying to increase my combo to get my vicious before my special too. And I think I throw it right here. So I don't have my vicious for my SP2 hits, but it doesn't really matter because I'm able to, I think I stand up. Yeah, I stand up, and then I go right into an SP1. And this does a lot of damage. And over here, instead of going for a heavy to do the regular Okoye thing, I'm going to bait this, which is kind of annoying because that means that everything's going to fall off without me being able to kill. But whatever, it's fine, just the way it goes. I have a little bit of time on my vicious left, so I'm going to take advantage of that. And go for a heavy here, or I should have gone for a heavy there probably so that I could refresh those. Either way, I pause the precisions with my special one and allow me to get some more. And at this point, he's starting to go down. He's at 5%, 4%, 3%, 2%, 1% dead. So less than 2 minutes. Okoye is pretty quick there. Over rank 2, so a rank 4 should be doing that much, much quicker. Just got to work with the smaller roster on the smaller account. And last up, I have the Sentinal. So remember I talked about earlier how Deathless Thanos takes really big advantage of his healing. So Count Nefaria on node 3, there is a Never Back Down, and Count Nefaria steals regen. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to steal the regen from Never Back Down. I'm going to get into my Ionic mode to reduce his regeneration by 100%, and then I'm going to reduce it even more by Despair, and whenever you reduce regeneration rate below 0, Nefaria steals some of that. So here I'm just getting into my Ionic mode by parrying. I'm not activating the regen unless I have to. Here I throw my special one, and we're in Ionic. So I double dash back here, or I don't, not yet. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. I double dash back here, getting force charges, so I'm doing more damage, but I'm also healing. And the healing is going to become more and more potent depending on how many debuffs I have on him. I build up some more energy. The reason that the Iron Man synergy is nice here is because you're able to fail his Heavy Unstoppable, but also it counts as debuffs for Despair. Anyways, I'm back at full. I'm healing a lot of damage. I'm healing all the damage I'm taking from the suicides. And I'm just doing double dash back into special one, and he's reversing his healing to death. I'm not sure how else you can make this fight go faster. I'm just spamming the dash back. And I go for a heavy there just to get some space. And I do another heavy just to get some space. And he's going down quite quickly. We're a minute and 15 seconds in, and he's just taking 18k regen reversals. I throw the special too. It does pretty good damage, I think. I can't tell if it's just the damage from the Never Back Down. And I did take recoil damage, but I healed it all the way back. And the armor up phase at the end of the fight where he gains power from armor ups is completely not a problem because Count Nefaria will just steal the power from the armor ups. I did over there. And then I got heal blocked, which is kind of annoying actually. But it doesn't really matter. The fight's pretty much almost over. I double dash back for him to start taking damage. And I dex this heavy. And I'm just going to dex another heavy. And he's going to die. 1%, 0%, 2 minute fight. Quite easy. Count Nefaria is very, very good for that node. Although I assume probably will place champions that are immune to regen reversal. But either way, yeah. So those are some fights from the offseason. Hopefully those helped you. And good luck with your season.